It's recording.
All right, what we're doing today is building a record rack for a place where they sell records, and there's just have not been able to find. I'm sure there's somewhere out there on the internet, but I looked on Pinterest and so on, record stores. Most of them are for displays. This is going to have 7,000 records in it, and so I'm on my own. So what I've come up with is design, be 8 foot long and 12 inches in between, clear. So what I'm doing is taking an 8 foot board and going 12 inches, then 3.5.
Hold on, Christian's calling.
So what we're doing is 12 inches of record space on the floor. Then there's be a 2x4 turned on side like I have right here. And I'll notch this in. So I've got 3.5 inches, 3 5/8. And then I'm going to allow a 1/2 inch of OSB on top of that. That's more than enough to hold everything together and hold the records from falling through. So that would mean I need 12.5 inches space to keep the same kind of distance. By the way, the height from the floor to the ceiling here is 83, pretty low. Then we're going to do another 3 5/8, and then another 12.5. Then another 3 5/8, and another 12.5. Let's do what 83 is. That would just barely. 83 would only be a couple inches past, so there would be no reason for that last one. So really, all we need is a total height of 76.5. 76 5/8. All right, so we'll get a speed square, and I'll get a bunch of them in here. So I know I've got one on each side, and I'll show you how I'm building it on each end. And that will be 2 of these shelves in here. That'll be 16 feet of shelving. So that's a total of 4, 76.5. And then if I do 2 more there, that would be a total of 16 76.5. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lay out 16 of these at 76.5. And then we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 per rack, and then traps. So here we go. Hey, so here we are. We got a bunch of boards that are varying lengths, but they're all plenty long enough for what we're doing. Some of them are to these 4 here actually go to the ceiling. I had to cut them off to fit. Then remember I had this one that I set for 12, 3.5, 12.5, 3.5, 12.5, 3.5. So what I'm doing now, I should be using a framing square, but the speed square works. Just have to work a little harder. Maybe a little bit less accurate. Sorry it makes kind of jumpy film because we ran out of storage in the phone for some reason. That had 90 something videos, so it wasn't all backed up. Anyway, what I did was I marked all the 2x across. Then I measured the depth on my saw to be 1 5/8, maybe even 1 3/4. Locked it down, then cut through all that. And after I did that, I have an 1.5 inch depth, 1 5/8 inch, 1 3/4. And then I take a hammer and I kind of angle down and out. Gotta be kind of violent with it. Right on the corner. Now you can get fancier. You can measure an 1 5/8 inch, 1 3/4. Take your saw and dip it in from both sides, and you'll get pretty close. And then you can break it out, or you can take a jigsaw and cut that out, or even a sawzall if you get enough depth. But this is for storing, which you could probably use it for any number of heavy things. So that's when I'm putting a lot of weight. Get a lot of records. All these right here are ready to put the boards together. So we'll take you through that. Okay, so those notches, we're putting the same length 2x in here, which will be the outside of one side, and then I'll do the same thing with another set. And I'm using screws that way. It doesn't go anywhere. And I'll show you on the next set. We'll get both those together and I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so we did the second one. Now this one of them's got to be flipped around the other side so that these boards here are on the outside. And then we'll screw plywood on this. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to back that way and then try to turn around. So maybe we'll turn you off so you don't have to see all the bumping around that we're going to do. Hey. Okay, so we put the other one around behind and this one in the front. Now you're starting to see a little bit of what we're trying to do. The plywood's going to lay here, and we fastened it here just to keep it from moving around a lot. But this is loose. But what we've done is measure across the front, and I want it 12 inches. So what I need to do is put some supports in here, wherever one of these are, to keep this thing stiff. So it is 8 7/8, 8 3/4, and we can fasten a 2x inside here, and it will be much more sturdy. And so that's what we're going to do next. We're going to cut a bunch of short boards, 8 3/4, maybe even we'll call it 9 inches, and that way we'll keep an even number, 9 inches, and then we'll fasten it. We'll show you as we fasten. Okay, so we put all these supports in there. We still have a little bit of a wobbly end on this, but I'll straighten that out. So what we're doing next is cutting the plywood to put here. And we've marked the plywood. I'm going to get 12-inch pieces out of there. I've got to cut the length because it'll be a less than 8 foot. And then we'll have a shelf. All it needs a little bit more support. Here we are. We've cut a little bit further. Plywood's been cut. We got some of it screwed down good, some of it not. But the records can sit on here. Quite a lot of weight. Might bow a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. Basically, these are about $10 a sheet, so that's $10. Then, if you were paying for new, that'd be $3 a piece times 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24. So $36 plus screws. So 36, is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's times 3 is 36. So it's $46 plus screws and the time. So it's like $46. You can carry a lot of weight on these type of cabinets. So everybody's going to be happy because of the weight. We got another one started over here, but this one's longer. Well, I probably have to put some support on that. But anyway, this is something you can do at home, in your shop or something. If you want to get real elaborately fancy and cut it real close, then you could do something fancy and dress it up with trim and such. But this is a place that doesn't require that. So here we go.